The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sienna's shocking lie begins to unravel. Things are about to get even more intense in The Young and the Restless, and at the center of it all is Sienna Bacall, and a lie that could change everything. Right now, Sienna is telling a very bold story. She claims that Matt Clark is dead, and not only that, she insists she's the one who killed him. On the surface, it sounds like the nightmare is finally over. Matt, the man who caused chaos, fear, and destruction, is supposedly gone for good. But not everyone is buying it. Sharon Newman, in particular, isn't convinced. Something about Sienna's story just doesn't sit right with her. The details feel off, the emotions don't fully match the situation, and deep down, Sharon's instincts are screaming that there's more to this than Sienna is letting on. And if there's one thing fans know about Sharon, it's this: when she starts questioning something, she usually has a reason. As the May 1st episode approaches, those suspicions are only going to grow stronger. Sharon begins to wonder if Sienna is hiding something, or worse, if she's still somehow connected to Matt in a way no one expected. That idea alone is enough to shake everything. Because from what everyone has seen so far, Sienna has every reason to hate Matt. He didn't just hurt her emotionally, he terrorized her. He held her hostage more than once, manipulated her, and pushed her to the edge. In private moments, Sienna made it very clear just how much she despised him. There was no love left there. No loyalty. No hesitation. So why would Sharon even consider the possibility that Sienna might still be on Matt's side? That's where things get complicated. Because while Sienna may hate Matt, her feelings for Noah Newman are a completely different story. Noah isn't just someone she cares about, he's someone she wants to protect. And not just him, but his entire family as well. The Newmans have been Matt's target for a long time. His obsession with revenge has put all of them in danger: Noah, Sharon, Nick, Adam, none of them were safe. And Sienna knew that. That's exactly what pushed her to make a risky move before everything went up in flames. Before the explosion at the gas station, Sienna actually tried to strike a deal with Matt. She offered him a way out, a chance to walk away from his revenge plan and start over somewhere else. Her proposal was simple, but dangerous: leave the Newmans alone, and the two of them could disappear together. It was a desperate gamble. But Matt didn't take it. At least, not right away. Instead, he went ahead with his plan and caused the explosion anyway. Chaos erupted, lives were put at risk, and for a moment, it looked like his revenge had reached its breaking point. However, what Matt didn't count on was how quickly things would turn against him. Victor Newman's people stepped in fast. They managed to get Noah, Sharon, Nick, and Adam out of danger before things got even worse. Just like that, Matt's plan started to fall apart. And that's when everything may have changed. Because if Matt realized his attack had failed, then he would have needed a backup plan. Something to protect himself. Something to give him time. And that's where Sienna comes back into the picture. There's a strong possibility that after the explosion, Matt and Sienna made a secret deal, one that no one else knows about. Imagine this. Matt, injured but still alive, decides to fake his own death. To make it believable, he could have gone as far as cutting himself, using his own blood, and staging the scene so it looked real. Then, he brings Sienna into the plan. Her role? Convince everyone that he's gone. If Sienna tells the story, if she sells it with enough emotion and detail, people might actually believe it. And if the Newmans believe it, they let their guard down. That's exactly what Matt would want. But of course, a deal like that wouldn't come without conditions. Matt could have demanded something in return. And there's one thing that makes this even more suspicious: Victor recently handed over his old assets to Sienna, everything except the shadow room, which went to Noah. That means Sienna suddenly has access to serious money. So what if Matt wanted a piece of it? A secret transfer, a payoff, in exchange for disappearing. And on top of that, he might have made a promise that if Sienna helps him fake his death, he'll walk away for good. No more revenge. No more attacks. No more danger for the Newmans. For Sienna, that might have sounded like the only way out. Because if she refused, what was stopping Matt from coming after everyone again immediately? In her mind, this deal could have been the lesser of two evils. But here's the problem. Trusting Matt Clark is never a good idea. Even if he made that promise, even if he swore he'd disappear, there's no guarantee he'll actually keep his word. In fact, history suggests the exact opposite. And that's why this lie is so dangerous. Because if Sienna is telling everyone that Matt is dead, and they believe her, then the Newmans are walking straight into a false sense of security. They'll relax. They'll think the threat is gone. And that's when Matt could strike again. Even worse, if Sharon keeps digging and starts getting too close to the truth, things could spiral out of control fast. Because if Matt really did make a deal with Sienna, there's a good chance he also gave her a warning. Stay quiet, or else. If Sienna tells the truth, if she admits that Matt is still alive, then the deal is off. And that could mean Matt comes back with even more vengeance than before. So now Sienna is trapped. She has to keep lying. She has to convince Sharon, Noah, and everyone else that her story is real. Every word, every reaction, every detail has to be perfect. Because one mistake could expose everything. And if that happens, the fallout won't just affect her. It will hit the entire Newman family. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sienna's lie gets more dangerous as Sharon closes in. The tension keeps building in The Young and the Restless, and now that Sienna's story is out there, the real challenge begins, making everyone believe it. At first, her claim seems convincing enough. After everything that happened, after the explosion, the chaos, and the fear, it almost feels easier to accept that Matt Clark is gone. People want to believe it's over. But Sharon Newman isn't one of those people. The more she thinks about Sienna's version of events, the more questions start to surface. It's not just about what Sienna said, it's about how she said it. There's something missing. Something that doesn't quite line up. And Sharon can't ignore that feeling. She starts replaying every moment in her head, every detail Sienna shared, every reaction she gave. And slowly, doubt begins to turn into suspicion. Because if Matt really is dead, where's the proof? There's no body. No clear confirmation. Just Sienna's word. And in a situation this serious, that's not enough. At the same time, Sharon begins to look at Sienna herself a little differently. Not with immediate accusation, but with caution. Because whether Sienna is lying intentionally or not, something about this situation is off. And the more Sharon digs, the more complicated it becomes. Meanwhile, Sienna is doing everything she can to hold her story together. On the outside, she's trying to stay calm, controlled, and believable. But inside, the pressure is building fast. Because lying about something like this isn't easy. Every conversation feels like a test. Every question feels like a trap. And every time Sharon looks at her with that quiet suspicion, it becomes harder to stay composed. Sienna knows one thing for sure, if she slips even once, everything could fall apart. And that's exactly what she's afraid of. Because if the truth comes out, the consequences won't just affect her. They'll affect Noah, his family, everyone she was trying to protect in the first place. That's what makes this situation so painful. Sienna didn't do this for selfish reasons, at least, not entirely. In her mind, this lie was a way to stop the danger. A way to keep Matt from coming back and hurting the people she cares about. But now, it's starting to feel like she may have made things even worse. Because the deeper she gets into this lie, the harder it becomes to escape it. And then there's Noah. Out of everyone involved, Noah is the one Sienna struggles with the most. Because looking him in the eyes and telling this story, knowing she's not being completely honest, is tearing her apart. Noah trusts her. He wants to believe her. And for a moment, he actually does. He listens to her explanation, he sees the emotion, and he tries to accept that Matt is gone. After everything his family has been through, the idea of finally being free from that threat is something he desperately wants to hold on to. But even Noah isn't completely immune to doubt. There are moments, small, quiet moments, where he hesitates. Where something in Sienna's tone or expression makes him pause. It's subtle, but it's there. And Sienna notices it. She sees that flicker of uncertainty, and it scares her more than anything. Because if Noah starts questioning her, everything changes. At the same time, Nick Newman and Adam Newman are also processing the situation in their own way. Both of them know how dangerous Matt is. Both of them have seen firsthand what he's capable of. So while they want to believe he's gone, they're not ready to let their guard down completely. Nick, in particular, starts focusing on the bigger picture. He's not just thinking emotionally, he's thinking logically. And from a logical standpoint, too many pieces are missing. It doesn't add up. Adam, on the other hand, takes a more cautious approach. He's not jumping to conclusions, but he's watching closely. Observing. Waiting to see if anything slips through the cracks. And with so many people quietly questioning the situation, Sienna is running out of room to breathe. Because the truth is, maintaining a lie like this requires constant control. One wrong detail. One inconsistent statement. One emotional reaction that doesn't match the story. That's all it takes. And then there's the biggest threat of all, Sharon's persistence. Sharon isn't the type to let something go once it starts bothering her. The more resistance she feels, the more determined she becomes. And now, she's starting to ask more direct questions. Careful at first, but pointed. She wants clarity. She wants specifics. She wants to understand exactly what happened in those final moments. And every question puts Sienna under more pressure. Because the more detail she has to provide, the harder it becomes to keep everything consistent. And deep down, Sienna knows something else too. If Matt is really alive, then this isn't over. Not even close. Because someone like Matt doesn't just disappear. He waits. He watches. And when the time is right, he strikes again. That possibility is always there, hanging over everything like a shadow. Which means Sienna isn't just protecting a lie, she's protecting a ticking time bomb. And if it goes off, there's no telling how much damage it will cause. For now, she keeps going. She keeps telling the story. She keeps trying to convince everyone that this nightmare is over. But the cracks are starting to show. And it's only a matter of time before someone sees through them. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Matt's next move could expose everything. The danger is far from over in The Young and the Restless, and while everyone in Genoa City is trying to move forward, there's one terrifying possibility no one can ignore anymore. What if Matt Clark is still out there, watching, waiting? As Sienna continues to stand by her story, the cracks are getting harder to hide. Sharon's suspicions are growing stronger by the minute, and now, it's not just a feeling, it's becoming a quiet investigation. She starts connecting dots. The timeline of events, the lack of physical evidence, the way Sienna describes the so-called final moment with Matt. It all feels just slightly off. Not enough to immediately prove anything, but enough to raise serious red flags. And Sharon isn't the only one starting to think this way. Nick and Adam are beginning to shift their focus too. At first, they were willing to accept the possibility that Matt was gone. But now, they're asking questions. Careful ones. Strategic ones. Because if there's even a small chance that Matt survived, then everything changes. And that's exactly what makes this situation so dangerous. Because while the Newmans are slowly starting to question the truth, Matt himself may already be planning his next move. Somewhere out there, hidden and recovering, Matt could be watching how all of this plays out. If Sienna really did help him fake his death, then this silence, this false sense of peace, is exactly what he wanted. Time. Time to heal. Time to plan. Time to strike again when no one expects it. And if that's the case, then Sienna's lie isn't protecting anyone, it's giving Matt the perfect advantage. Back in Genoa City, the pressure on Sienna continues to build. Every conversation feels heavier now. Every glance from Sharon feels sharper. And every moment she spends around Noah becomes more emotionally complicated. Because Noah is starting to notice things he didn't before. At first, he wanted to believe her without question. He trusted Sienna, and he believed that she would never lie to him about something this serious. But now, small details are starting to stand out. The way she hesitates before answering certain questions. The way her story doesn't always come out exactly the same. The way she avoids eye contact when the topic gets too specific. It's subtle, but it's there. And Noah can feel it. He doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but the doubt is slowly creeping in. And once the doubt takes hold, it's hard to ignore. For Sienna, this is the moment she feared most. Because losing Noah's trust would be devastating. More than anything else, she wanted to protect him. That was the whole reason she got involved in this situation to begin with. Every decision she made, every risk she took, it all came back to him and his family. But now, the very lie she told to protect them might end up pushing them away. And that's not the only risk. Because the truth is, if Matt is still alive, then Sienna isn't just lying for him, she's tied to him. Whether she likes it or not. And that connection could come back to haunt her in ways she hasn't even imagined yet. Meanwhile, Sharon decides it's time to take things a step further. Instead of just questioning Sienna privately, she starts looking for outside confirmation. She revisits the scene in her mind, considers the possibility that something was missed, and begins thinking about how to verify the story. Because at this point, she's no longer willing to just accept things at face value. She needs proof. Real proof. And if she can't find it, then she's going to keep digging until she does. That determination could change everything. Because if Sharon gets too close to the truth, if she uncovers even a small piece of evidence that contradicts Sienna's story, then the entire lie could collapse instantly. And when that happens, there will be no going back. At the same time, there's another possibility that can't be ignored. What if Sienna actually believes what she's saying? It sounds unlikely, but it's not impossible. Depending on what really happened during those final moments, depending on how everything played out, Sienna might genuinely think that Matt is dead. If the situation was chaotic enough, if she didn't see what happened clearly, if there was confusion, fear, and adrenaline involved, then it's possible she convinced herself that it was over. That Matt didn't survive. But even in that scenario, the outcome is the same. Matt is still out there. Alive. And sooner or later, he's going to make his presence known again. When that happens, the fallout will be massive. Because not only will it prove that Sienna was wrong, it will raise even more questions about everything she said before. Was she mistaken? Was she manipulated? Or was she lying all along? Those questions won't just affect her reputation, they'll affect every relationship she has. Especially with Noah. And as for the Newmans, they'll be caught completely off guard. Because right now, even with some doubts lingering, a part of them is starting to relax. A part of them wants to believe the danger is gone. And that's exactly what makes this situation so explosive. Because when the truth finally comes out, it won't just be a shock. It will be a betrayal. And at the center of it all will be Sienna. A woman who tried to do the right thing, but may have made the biggest mistake of her life. The young and the restless spoilers, Matt's return looms as Sienna's world starts falling apart. The calm in the young and the restless is nothing more than an illusion, and it's about to shatter. Because while Genoa City slowly settles into a fragile sense of peace, something far more dangerous is building behind the scenes. Something no one, except maybe Sienna, is truly prepared for. Matt Clark isn't finished. And whether Sienna knows it for sure or not, deep down, she can feel it. There's this constant weight hanging over her now. A quiet fear she can't shake. Every time her phone buzzes, every time she hears an unexpected sound, every time someone knocks on the door, there's a split second where her heart stops. Because she knows the truth. Or at least, she fears it. If Matt is alive, then this isn't over. Not even close. And if he decides to come back, there's nothing she can do to stop him. Meanwhile, the pressure from the Newmans is reaching a breaking point. Sharon is no longer just suspicious, she's actively searching for answers. She's asking tougher questions now, pushing Sienna in ways she didn't before. There's less patience in her tone, more urgency. Because Sharon's instincts are now fully activated. And when that happens, she doesn't stop until she finds the truth. Nick is starting to align with her thinking too. He doesn't say it outright at first, but the concern is there. The way he watches Sienna, the way he listens carefully to every word she says, it's clear he's no longer convinced. Even Adam, who usually keeps his thoughts close to the chest, is paying attention. He sees the tension. He notices the inconsistencies. And he understands what it could mean if those doubts turn out to be true. Because if Matt is alive, then they've all been played. And that realization could hit harder than anything else. For Sienna, the situation is becoming unbearable. It's not just about keeping the lie alive anymore, it's about surviving it. She's constantly walking a tightrope, trying to balance what she says, how she reacts, and how much emotion she shows. Too much emotion, and it looks suspicious. Not enough, and it feels cold. There's no safe ground. And the worst part? She's completely alone in this. No one knows what she's really dealing with. No one understands the pressure she's under. And no one can help her without risking everything. Especially Noah. Because Noah is getting closer to the truth, even if he doesn't realize it yet. His instincts are starting to kick in, just like Sharon's. But unlike Sharon, his reaction isn't driven by suspicion alone, it's driven by emotion. He cares about Sienna. He wants to trust her. But trust only goes so far when things stop making sense. There are moments now where he looks at her differently. Moments where he pauses before responding. Moments where he almost asks a question, but stops himself. And those moments are getting more frequent. Sienna can see it happening. She can feel that distance growing between them, slowly but surely. And it's breaking her. Because in trying to protect him, she might end up losing him anyway. At the same time, there's another layer to this situation that makes everything even more dangerous. What if Matt hasn't been completely silent this whole time? What if he's already made contact? It doesn't have to be something obvious. It could be subtle. A message. A signal. A reminder that he's still out there and still in control. Because that's exactly the kind of move Matt would make. Not a full return, not yet. Just enough to keep Sienna on edge. Just enough to remind her that the deal, whatever it was, is still in effect. And that she still has something to lose. If that's happening, then Sienna isn't just lying to the Newmans. She's being controlled. Every decision she makes, every word she says, could be influenced by fear of what Matt might do next. And that turns this entire situation into something even darker. Because now, it's not just about deception. It's about manipulation. And possibly, survival. Back with Sharon, the investigation is reaching a critical point. She's starting to piece together a version of events that doesn't match Sienna's story. It's not complete yet, but it's close enough to raise serious alarms. And once Sharon reaches that point, there's no turning back. Because the next step isn't just questioning. It's confrontation. If Sharon decides to confront Sienna directly, to push her into a corner and demand the truth, then everything could explode in an instant. Because Sienna won't be ready for that. She can handle questions. She can handle doubt. But a direct confrontation? That's a different story. Because under that kind of pressure, even the strongest lie can fall apart. And if it does, the consequences will be immediate. No more trust. No more protection. No more second chances. The Newmans will see the truth for what it is, a betrayal that put all of them at risk. And if Matt returns after that? It won't just be dangerous. It will be catastrophic. Because this time, they won't just be dealing with an enemy on the outside. They'll be dealing with the damage from within. And at the center of it all, will be Sienna. A woman caught between fear and loyalty, between truth and survival, between protecting the people she loves and destroying their trust forever. And as the tension reaches its peak, one thing is becoming painfully clear. This story is heading toward an explosion. Not of fire, but of truth. The Young and the Restless spoilers, the truth explodes as Matt returns and Sienna faces the fallout. Everything is about to come crashing down on the Young and the Restless, and this time, there's no stopping it. The tension, the lies, the suspicion, it's all been building toward one unavoidable moment. The truth. And when it finally comes out, nothing will ever be the same again. It starts quietly. Just like everything else in this story. Sharon Newman reaches a point where she can't ignore her instincts any longer. The doubts she's been holding onto, the inconsistencies she's noticed, they all come together into one clear realization. Sienna is not telling the full truth. At first, Sharon doesn't make a scene. She doesn't accuse Sienna publicly. Instead, she chooses a more direct approach. A private confrontation. It's calm, controlled, but intense. She looks Sienna straight in the eye and asks the question that's been building for days. What really happened to Matt? And in that moment, everything changes. Because Sienna isn't prepared for it. Not like this. Not so direct. There's no time to think. No time to carefully choose her words. No time to rebuild the story in her head. All she has is pressure. And it shows. The hesitation. The silence. The shift in her expression. It's subtle, but it's enough. Sharon sees it instantly. And just like that, the truth begins to crack through the surface. From there, things escalate fast. Nick and Adam are brought into the situation. Questions turn into accusations. The atmosphere becomes tense, heavy, impossible to control. Sienna tries to hold on. She tries to stick to the story. But it's slipping away. Piece by piece. Until finally, she breaks. Whether it's fear, guilt, or pure exhaustion. Sienna can't carry the weight of the lie anymore. And she admits it. Not everything. But enough. Enough for the Newmans to realize one horrifying possibility. Matt Clark might still be alive. That realization hits like a shockwave. Because in that moment, everything they thought they knew, everything they believed was over, comes rushing back. The danger. The fear. The uncertainty. It was never gone. And now, it's worse than ever. Because this time, they were unprepared. For Sienna, this is the moment she's been dreading. The moment where everything falls apart. Noah looks at her differently now. Not with love. Not with trust. But with confusion and hurt. And that hurts more than anything else. Because out of everyone, Noah was the one she wanted to protect the most. But now, she's the reason he's in danger again. And she knows it. She tries to explain. She tries to make him understand why she did it, how she thought it was the only way to stop Matt, how she believed she was protecting him and his family. But the damage is already done. Because no matter the reason, she lied. And that kind of betrayal doesn't go away easily. Meanwhile, the Newmans shift into action mode. Victor Newman isn't the kind of man who waits around when there's a threat to his family. The moment he hears that Matt could still be alive, everything changes. Security is tightened. Plans are made. People are put in place. Because if Matt is out there, he won't stay hidden forever. And Victor knows it. But here's the twist no one sees coming. Before they can even fully prepare, Matt makes his move. Not in secret. Not from the shadows. But in a way that sends a clear, terrifying message. He's back. And he was never gone. It could be a sighting. A message. A direct appearance. However it happens, one thing is certain. Matt wants them to know. He wants them to feel the fear again. He wants them to understand that this isn't over, it's just beginning. And just like that, the entire situation explodes. The Newmans are thrown back into chaos. Sharon realizes her instincts were right all along. Nick and Adam prepare for what could be another dangerous confrontation. Victor steps into full control mode. And Noah? He's caught in the middle of it all. Trying to process the truth, trying to deal with Sienna's betrayal, and trying to prepare for the threat that's now right back where it started. As for Sienna, she's left to face the consequences of everything she's done. Alone. Because now, not only has she lost the Newmans' trust, she may have put herself directly in Matt's path again. And if Matt feels like she's no longer useful, or worse, that she's turned against him, there's no telling what he'll do. Because one thing has become painfully clear. This was never a simple lie. It was a gamble. A desperate attempt to stop something unstoppable. And it failed. Now, the truth is out. The danger is back. And the fallout is just beginning. In Genoa